Good afternoon to all of our change makers and social innovators joining us from all across the world. Thank you for joining in again to yet another edition of the Social Impact Webinar. We're super excited about this month's edition. Please, we encourage you to please share the link within your sphere of influence. Copy the link, pop it up on WhatsApp, on IG, on LinkedIn, and get as many of your friends and colleagues on board as soon as possible. We're excited to welcome you to this great edition of the Social Impact Webinar. And we're excited because we will be dissecting a topic known as the LinkedIn Marketing 101 for social enterprises and NGOs. So we encourage you to be a part of this. Also share within your sphere of influence to have as many of your people join in this afternoon. Already we have in the studio a very amiable guest speaker, Ahoma Wogu. She's excitedly prepared for this session and she'll be doing justice to it. So whilst we're having as many persons join in, I would love to read from the comment section where you're joining us from. So pop it up in the comment section where you join us from, what's the name of your organization, your name, what you do, and let's meet you in the comment section. All right. So we're super excited about this edition. And of course, we know that as social entrepreneurs and nonprofit professionals, we're looking for avenues to increase our brand visibility, penetrate a new audience, as well as scale our impact work across the world. And of course, LinkedIn is such a powerful platform that a lot of professionals are leveraging today. And that's why we have invited, our very quintessential, the very own, very well-known LinkedIn queen, Alma Wogo, to do justice to this topic. So I want to have those joining us again, share in the comment section where you're joining us from. We'd love to take those information and just really have you also invite everyone within your sphere of influence. So share the link, share the YouTube link. If you're on LinkedIn, we also welcome you. Share the link across your that platform as well, and have as many persons join in. I can see that a lot of people are tuned in right now. So just type in the comment section again where you're joining us from, what your name is, as well as your expectations for today's session. All right, so we'll move on quickly to welcome our guest speaker, and let's meet her. So Alma is an award-winning thought leader who has helped over 2,000 business owners, corporate professionals, freelancers, and students gain visibility and secure the right opportunities on LinkedIn. She's currently a member of the LinkedIn Certified Marketing Experts Network, and through a training, individuals have secured life-changing jobs, clients, sponsorships, etc. She's a strong advocate for global sustainability with a deep love for God, branding, marketing, and the environment. In 2021, Ahoma founded Emphasage Hub, a social enterprise she's used to connect young professionals in Africa to global and regional opportunities. Emphasage Hub currently hosts a community of 2,000 young African talents that are being exposed and prepared to secure these opportunities. While at Covenant University, she received the United Nations Summer Academy Scholarship from the state of North Rhine-Westphalia, Germany. She was also listed as one of the top 50 most enterprising students in Nigeria by Ideas Lane Africa. Upon graduation, Aoma received the Wings Award for Social Action and Development and the Student Leadership Award. She was also nominated for the Commonwealth Youth Awards for Excellence in Development Work in 2020. In 2022, she was listed as one of the top 60 African women in development by Donors for Africa, one of the 30 most influential young people by the African Youth Development Group, and received Africa's most influential young netpreneurs award in partnership with Meta. Alma is an alumnus of the United Nations Summer Academy and the Business Management Training by Bank of America and Econel. Alma was one of the 19 women business leaders chosen across the globe to participate in the Goldman Sachs Annual Growth Fellowship in 2021. Alma was also listed as one of the top 100 creators on the African continent as a result of her various digital products, such as ebooks, training, and coaching programs, which she uses to transform career and business professionals. She's a published author of two books that have been collectively read by over 500 people across the globe. Alma's writings and social media content are channels she's using to achieve a dream of seeing more Africans like ourselves get visible and promote themselves, their career, and their businesses on digital media platforms such as LinkedIn. She's a young African woman who desires to see change and would devote our resources to see that is achieved. Once again, we warmly welcome our speaker, Ahoma Wogo. All right.
Hello, Lady Tony. How are
Hello.
you?
I'm very well. Thank you. How are you doing this pleasant afternoon?
Very fine. And you?
I'm very well. And you look
Thank
good.
you. I
Thank you
can
so
see
much.
you also look good, I must say.
Thank you very much. All right, so we
Uh,
have people tuned in already, and I will just allow you, of course, get into the first phase of this webinar through your presentation, and thereafter we'll get into the question and answer segment where we take other questions. All right.
that makes sense. Are you going to share or should I share my screen?
Yes, I can share from my end, or you can go ahead to share, but I can share from my end. It's fine.
Okay,
All right.
because. Hmm, okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lady Toyin. She has already shared my screen. Very excited to be here with all of you today. My name is Homa Wogo, and I am a certified LinkedIn marketing expert by LinkedIn themselves. I've also trained about 2,000 people plus to gain visibility, to gain an expert status on LinkedIn, and also to brand themselves as thought leaders on LinkedIn. In case you don't know, LinkedIn is the world's largest professional network right now. So if you're somebody in business, if you're somebody in career, that is somewhere that you should be giving more attention. Next slide. Excellent. Okay, this is just me. Like I said, I'm a member of the LinkedIn Global Marketing Insiders Network and the Creators Program for Africa. I've helped businesses, corporate professionals gain visibility and a thought leadership brand on LinkedIn. Basically, just to make it more conversational, I'm here today because I have a passion to see professionals, especially social entrepreneurs. You heard my bio. I'm also a social entrepreneur, and I've been doing social entrepreneurship for the past 3 years, right? And I know how it is when it comes to branding yourself as a social entrepreneur. Many of us don't know the right way to brand ourselves, right? And so you see other business owners or other for-profit making enterprises, they're the ones marketing themselves, they're the ones putting themselves out there. Whereas social entrepreneurs who do more or who make more impact and who also make profit on the side, you don't know the right way to put yourself out there so that you can secure the right partnerships, so that you can secure the right opportunity, so that you can also get clients because I'm sure you're also doing business and I'm sure you're also serving some people. So today, please next slide. Today, I want you to picture the level of visibility you want to achieve on LinkedIn moving forward, right? While I teach people, I like to utilize the power of imagination because as far as you can see, so shall you be, right? Even when I have corporate trainings, when I train other business owners, I want you guys, right, to picture the level of visibility. How many people do you want to have in your network, right? Because the more people you can reach, the more people you can serve. How many what's the your ideal amount of engagement when you put out informative content, when you put out educative content, right? I also want you to picture how you want your LinkedIn profile to look like, right? I also want you to picture the kind of people, the caliber of people you want to have in your network. Because imagine if you had the most powerful people in the world in your network. A lot of things will not be a struggle. A lot of things will not be hustle anymore for you, right? Because you just know the right people. And I need you to know and understand that those people are currently on LinkedIn. They don't just know you yet. I remember last year when I and my partner, we were organizing a particular event, right? And it was a global event, and we needed stakeholders from across the globe. And we went to visit a consul general, right, of a particular European country. When we went there, he's connected to one of us in the team. We went there, we started talking to him about the event, etc. And he told us, "Oh yeah, I saw it on LinkedIn." And now, mind you, this guy never reacted to our post, he never commented, he never shared the post. But you need to understand that these people are there on LinkedIn. This caliber of people are there on LinkedIn. They are watching. They might not like your post, they might not engage, but they are actually watching. I also need you to remember that there's a starving crowd on LinkedIn that is in dire need of your presence there. And like I tell my students, the more you keep hiding, the more both of you keep starving. They are starving because they have not benefited from your work. Their problems have not been solved by your initiative or your project. And you are also starving because there's an amount of impact, influence, and also income that you have not yet gotten if you are not actively showing up on LinkedIn. People like Tony Elumelu, Bill Gates, that are billionaires, they know why they still create content on LinkedIn. It's not because they are broke. So LinkedIn is not creating content on LinkedIn is not for just for broke people, but it's a professional network you need to harness if you're somebody that is looking for career development or business growth. So moving on, next. Yeah. The first thing, this is a particular statement that struck me. I'm part of Ace Business Club. Ace Business Club is a similar community as Forbes. And one of the chief igniter, Udo Okonjo, part of the Forbes Business Council, she said something. She said 2020 and beyond, or the decade of 2020 to 2030, is a decade of global digital profiles, right? So it means that you need to represent yourself on global platforms, whether you're a social entrepreneur, you're a business owner, you run a business, whatever it is you do, you need to understand that this is the era whereby a lot of things are happening online. Grants are being given online. People are applying online. People are signing up for courses online. So if you don't have a global digital profile, you're going to miss out on a lot. A lot of you have not. A lot of you have not, how do I put it? You've not entered certain markets or countries just because you don't know how to use the right tools to penetrate those countries. I remember one training session I was having in a particular company, and they wanted to penetrate certain countries across the globe. And I showed them how to do it with LinkedIn, right? So LinkedIn is one of the platforms where you can establish and grow a thought leadership brand that is respected globally. I don't know how many of you, if you're active on LinkedIn, you'll notice that you can get message requests, you can get connection requests from people across the globe, and it happens so randomly, right? Compared to other platforms like Instagram, whereby maybe 90% of your connections are just people in your country or people that are in your network, your friends and family, and their friends and family, right? But on LinkedIn, you see that there is a broad network. You can literally connect with someone from Germany. The algorithm can literally show your content, your initiative, your project to someone in US, and it happens so randomly. And that's why LinkedIn is one of the best platforms. For me, it is the best platform to represent your global digital profile. And I'm going to be showing you how to represent your profile in this session. Now, what exactly are you missing out on if you're not currently showing up on LinkedIn as a social entrepreneur or as a business owner, someone that has a career or a business? The first is the quality of leads. Now, the quality of leads on LinkedIn cannot be compared to any other platform. You might say the people on LinkedIn, are they not still the people on Instagram and Facebook? Yes, most of the times they are, but there's a certain level of representation that they have when they are on LinkedIn than other platforms. So a CEO knows that when he's opening LinkedIn, He's looking for business. He's looking for opportunities. He's looking for people that can serve his company. He's looking for service providers, right? Someone that gives grants, or someone that is a business owner. When they open LinkedIn, their mindset is different from when they're on Instagram. When they're on Instagram, they know, okay, I'm just here to chill. I'm scrolling. Yes, they might still look for business opportunities there, but it's different when it's on LinkedIn. Even us ourselves, right? When we're on LinkedIn, we have a different composure or mindset. We are more likely to make business decisions on LinkedIn than any other platform, right? According to LinkedIn, currently 800 million professionals are on LinkedIn, with 90% of them driving business decisions in their organizations. This is a big deal, right? Because if you're somebody that is serving business owners, if you're someone that has a product, a service, an initiative, right, that will serve this caliber of people, you know that this is where I should be actively putting out content. This is where I should represent myself, my company, etc. more. LinkedIn has also been listed as the most trusted social media platform. We all know that the rate at which people get scammed on LinkedIn cannot be compared to other platforms like the other ones. I don't want to list out the names, right? I'm not saying people don't get scammed on LinkedIn, but the rates at which people get scammed on LinkedIn cannot be compared, right? Also, LinkedIn is very big on safety. Recently, a lot of people have their accounts have been restricted because of certain actions that they get, and they come to me almost every week telling me, oh, my account has been restricted. What can I do? Most of the time, they didn't do anything wrong. But because of the level of security, LinkedIn restricted their account, right? So you need to understand that this can also be used to your advantage. The fact that a platform has been listed as the most trusted social media platform, this means that if I list my business there, people are likely to buy from me, right? Because they trust LinkedIn. So the trust they have for LinkedIn can be on you too if you are wise enough to utilize it to your own advantage. LinkedIn also has easy targeting, right? I talked about how I was able to train a company to reach leads in different countries. If you are looking for, let's say you're looking for a CEO in USA, in Dubai, it's easy to do it on LinkedIn. You can easily target people on LinkedIn. Perspective and state of minds, I've already talked about that. Moving on, next slide. Okay, so the first thing I would like to address here is the social entrepreneur's profile. I'm going to address the social entrepreneur's profile, and then I will address the social entrepreneur's initiative, right? First is that you need to understand that your business, your initiative, your project cannot grow beyond you. And that's why whenever you go for business classes, whenever you go for any of those things, you'll see that they always emphasize the need for the business owner to upskill, to go into new places, meet new people, upgrade your circle. Why? Because your initiative cannot grow beyond you. So as you look into um investing in ads to put your business or initiative out there, you look into getting the right team members, branding rightly, paying for how your logo should look, all those things that has to do with the initiative or the business you're running or the enterprise you're running. You also need to look into your own self as the leader or the founder, because your team members are going to look at you. The ideas or the ideas that would grow that business, most of them will come from you, especially when you're the only person, especially when it's still sole proprietorship, or when you're the only one leading the organization, right? So the first thing we need to understand is that the social entrepreneur's profile is the ideal thing that you need to look at first before you start looking at your company page on LinkedIn. So the first thing you need to look at is your banner. How exactly is your banner looking? Most of the times I tell people, when you want to create your LinkedIn banner, you need to ask yourself, if I got the opportunity to put an ad on, for people in Lagos, you know that Lekki toll gate, thousands of people pass there every day. If you got an ad slot to put your ad on Lekki toll gate billboard, what exactly are you going to put there? Right? That is exactly what should be on your LinkedIn profile banner. Why? Because that is what would keep or steal the attention of your profile visitors. You don't want a situation whereby you're creating content every time, but then when they click on your profile to look at what you're made of or to look at what you stand for, you lose their interest and they just skip your profile and continue scrolling on LinkedIn. The funnel is that you create content. When you create content, they look, if the LinkedIn algorithm suggests your content to a new someone that is not in your network already, they click the content, they look at your profile, and your profile is good enough to make them want to send you a connection request. So if your profile is not that good enough, you need to work on it. And these are the things you need to pay attention to when working on your profile. So we've talked about your banner. On your banner, what can be there can be your service, the services you provide, right? Or what you stand for. Some people have a phrase that defines them. For example, somebody's phrase can be building the next talent ecosystem in Africa. So whenever someone sees that, they already know what you stand for and they can connect with you. Some people would rather put out their services there, like coach, business owner, trainer, whatever, right? When someone sees that, they know what you stand for. Or some people have really good pictures that signify something legit. For example, if you give a TED talk, you spoke at UN, you pitched your business on a global platform, putting that picture there alone can just steal someone's attention, right? So these are the three options that you can use for your LinkedIn banner. The second section is your talks about section. Now, I wish I could share my screen and actually make it more practical. But if you open your LinkedIn profile, right, under your headline, you're going to see talks about, let's say, talks about social entrepreneurship, talks about quality education, etc. This is another avenue for you to represent yourself rightly. So, what exactly do you stand for? What are the key industries that your work centers on? You can put it in your talks about section. What this is going to do is that this is going to brand you as an industry leader. Let's say you're a social entrepreneur that focuses on quality education. In your talks about section, I should see talks about SDG 4, talks about education, talks about talent development, right? All these things. So when a potential partner, a potential student, or a potential lead looks at your profile, they know that this is somebody I should have in my network, right? To turn on your talks about section, you need to turn on your creator mode. When you open your profile, if you scroll down before your activity tab, you see creator mode. So click it and just click turn on. Right, when you turn it on, you can now have access to LinkedIn lives like this. You can have access to LinkedIn newsletters. You can have access to other features like this talks about section. The other thing you need to pay attention to is your profile picture, your name, and your headline. Please, as much as possible, use your real name on LinkedIn, right? Compared to other platforms like, let's say, Instagram, where some people use other names. As much as possible, use your real name on LinkedIn because it represents you better. Your profile picture should also look good. Human beings are very visual people, right? I know that whenever I open my people that have sent me connection requests, I look at their profile pictures a lot. One time I made a post on LinkedIn that also made me to launch another initiative. Last week, I sponsored about 50 people to get free headshots for their LinkedIn because I put out a post and I was talking about the need to have a good profile picture and how that was kind of it was a big metrics I was looking at when I was accepting people's connection requests, right? A lot of people were telling me, oh, they've not had professional headshots for a long time. And then I just launched that initiative after I released that post. That's just to tell you that people are big on profile pictures. People are big on profile. In fact, I know some recruiters that actually judge you based on how your profile pictures look. That's not a good thing to do, but I mean, that's what they are doing. So you need to get that right. Also, providing services. This is also a very important part of your LinkedIn profile. You need to show that you're providing services. I mean, you have an enterprise, right? A lot of you are not making money off LinkedIn because you don't have a service page, right? So this is another thing your creator mode will do for you. When you turn on your creator mode, you'll see the option to list your service, right? So if you look at my LinkedIn profile, you see my service page stating brand trainer, you see public speaker, you see a lot of other services. In fact, today I got someone reach out to me via my service page for a personal brand makeover, right? So the good thing about your service page is that whenever anybody on LinkedIn is looking for a public speaker, right, LinkedIn is going to suggest your service page to that person. So this is a must do for every entrepreneur that's listening to me right now. What exactly do you do? Can you create your service page on LinkedIn? It's nothing hard to do. Immediately you turn on your creator mode, you see an option to provide services, to list out about, I think, 5 services you offer, right? You also see an option to include your hourly rates. If you don't want to put it there, you can say, there's an option for people to DM you to know your hourly rates, right? The other section is your experience section. Very important. If you've done anything for good, renowned companies, please put it there. This is what this particular thing does for you. Let's say I've worked with GT Bank, for example, or I've trained bank staff, and I put it in my experience section. Let's say I've trained GT Bank, right? Whenever I create content on LinkedIn is going to, there's a higher chance of the algorithm to suggest my post to GT Bank staff members. And so you see there are a lot of people that have their content being seen by a lot of people. When you see their post impressions, they're in thousands. This is one of the ideal things that you can do if you want to increase your post impressions. Have you interned in certain companies? Put it there, right? Have you let's say, done one of their training programs? You've gone through their training programs. Put it there. When these companies are listed on your profile, the algorithm notices or sees it as kind of a connection. And whenever you create content, it will suggest your content to people that have once worked or are currently working in those companies. So this is something you need to look out for if you're struggling with low post impressions, etc. Then education and certifications, very, very important. I always tell my students that people will buy from you, or people will want to be associated with you because they can see that you care, that you are capable, and you are competent. These are the 3 C's that I work with whenever I'm training people. So how exactly can you show that you are competent and you are capable? By showing us your certifications, by showing us where you have been trained in, right? Or the organizations that have trained you. Most people, when they see that I have gone to Lagos Business School, some people, in fact, I know a particular lady that connected with me and joined one of my programs just because she saw that I did a mini MBA at Lagos Business School. So if you have gotten or you have done similar programs, please don't leave it out of your LinkedIn profile. It gives you credibility. Then your skills, please showcase your skills. And then this, who do you follow? Very important, because especially when people want to give you grants, right, or global opportunities, they will want to see your interest and linked. Whenever you're interested in a company or an individual, you see it at the down part of your LinkedIn profile. You see interest, for example, interest, Facebook, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, etc. Right? So this forms a perception of you in the minds of other people. When I see that your interests are good companies, your interests are innovative companies, right? It kind of rubs off on you. I kind of see you as someone that is innovative, someone that has similar values as those companies. So if you have role models that are doing big things around the world, you can showcase that you have an interest in them, and it's also going to be on your LinkedIn profile. And then your bio and your featured section. Lady Tony just read out my bio. Your bio should also showcase your credibility. If you've not written your bio well, you should. This is a good time for you to revamp your bio, right? I did mine again when I attended the visioning retreat in January, right? So this is also another opportunity for you to revamp your bio. If you can also get the visioning retreat replay, because I think there was a bio format that we used. That was Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala's bio. You can utilize that to create yours. And you can also feature certain things on your LinkedIn profile, right? On top your activity tabs, you see featured you see an opportunity to feature certain things on your LinkedIn, right? For example, I featured my speaking engagement at Winbees. I featured my LinkedIn newsletter. If you know there's something credible that you have done, let's say there's an article that has featured you online, you can feature it on your LinkedIn profile. It's very easy. You just need to click that featured section and add something you want to feature, maybe a link, a YouTube link. For example, Ideation Hub, if Ideation Hub is a profile, if they have a profile, not a company page, they can feature this section, this session that we're having right now. If it is listed on YouTube, they can just click the link and feature it, and everybody that looks at the profile can immediately watch this webinar. Next slide, please. Next slide, next slide, next slide. So you can just put in the chat what you have learned so far, right? If you have questions, there'll still be a time for Q&A. Now, there's something I really need to let all of us know, and is the need to establish a thought leadership brand. If you're here, you're probably a thought leader, right, in your field. And please, can you go to the next slide? There's a definition I'm looking for. There's a definition by next slide. I don't know if I put it here exactly. So, according to Business Day, please go up. According to Business Day, a thought leader is someone. No, go up. You've passed it. Go up. A thought leader is someone who, based on their expertise and perspective in the industry, offers unique guidance, inspires innovation, and influences others. Right. So I put unique guidance in bold because a lot of people are saying things on online, not just on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook. 2020 made the world go digital, and so a lot of people are coaches, a lot of people are trainers right now. But you can separate yourself by offering unique guidance, right? A unique perspective of trends, offering a unique perspective of whatever it is that you do, right? For example, whenever I am creating content on LinkedIn, I ensure that whatever I'm putting out is different from what other people are saying, right? And I do that by going the extra mile of reading, of researching, of joining certain networks, like Lady Tony rightly listed out. I'm one of the marketing insiders at LinkedIn. And so I'm doing this so that whenever I'm offering guidance, whenever I'm putting out stuff on LinkedIn, it's going to be different from the crowd. So, what are those circles that you need to go into, that you need to belong to, such that even when you are putting out stuff to the crowd, those are those people that are not able to get into those circles, you are seen as a thought leader, right? So, this is just something that you need to put on the side. Now, how do you establish a thought leadership brand? First, on LinkedIn, first is creating a convincing profile. We've talked about that. Then, not repeating popular opinions or trends, but establishing a niche for yourself, because specific niches build authenticity. Now, you're a social entrepreneur, yes, but then there's something that differentiates you from other social entrepreneurs. Let's say yours might be offering education to children in low income communities. Yours can be you have a product that helps the environment, whatever. So you need to intentionally state what exactly makes you different from the crowd, because that is what makes your own social entrepreneurship very authentic. That makes you unique. That is what is going to attract profile visitors to connect with you. That's what is going to attract other people to want to partner with you, to be part of your initiative. When they see that there's uniqueness in whatever it is you're doing, there's excellence, right? Human beings like spectacular things. So, how can you showcase that you are a spectacular social entrepreneur? Right? For example, I listed here, what SDG goal does your work address? It gives you a global perspective. When I work with my one-on-one clients with regard to personal branding, this is one question I ask them. And funny enough, most of them don't even think about this. What SDG goal does your work address? Very important, because the SDG goals are like a global metric that the world is judging their works based on, right? So you see companies that say, oh, our CSR is to address SDG 13, climate action. Our CSR is to address SDG 4, quality education, right? So what SDG goal does your work address, and how can you put it on your LinkedIn profile. Don't forget, I said that you can include it in your talks about section. So if you're here right now, this is something that you should take note of, because someone in America knows the SDGs, someone in India, someone in USA, someone in Australia. This is one language that we are all speaking. So if you can put it out there, you can better communicate with a global audience. Next slide. So as you create content to establish your thought leadership brand, don't forget I said offering unique guidance, right? This can be done when you're creating content, when you're talking about your own perspective with regards to things in your industry. Ensure that you understand that content is being created for your audience, not you, right? So you need to look at, what does my audience want to see? Most of the times I see a lot of people on LinkedIn and even Instagram and other platforms, you seem to be creating content for yourself, right? So it looks good to you, and then you just put it out there. You need to think, what exactly, if I want to attract industry leaders, what do they want to see? What are they normally attracted to? Who are they currently following? Who are they attracted to? And how can I brand myself to look like that caliber of those caliber of people, right? So until you do this, you notice that you're not able to attract a certain caliber of people, right? So this is a very intentional research that you need to do. And the good thing about LinkedIn is that when you see someone on LinkedIn, you can actually see who they are connected to. So if I open Bill Gates page, especially those that are not premium on LinkedIn, I can see Bill Gates interest. I can see people that Bill Gates are connected to. I can see our mutual connections. So I can now see who exactly Bill Gates is connected to. Who are the people that he engages on their post, if he does, right? And then I can learn from those people. So these are intentional things that you need to start doing if you want to create a thought leadership brand on LinkedIn. Next slide. We've talked about this. Next slide. So when you're creating a thought leadership brand, these are just some few nuggets that I want you to pay attention to. First is add new perspectives. We talked about this. Point out things that may have been overlooked by the masses in your niche, right? So this is something I do a lot. I know that there are some people that are training now, coaching now, and every time, whenever I want to train because I run a monthly LinkedIn growth program, every month, whenever I want to train the new set of business owners or social entrepreneurs that are in my community, I ask myself, what exactly have been overlooked by other people that are doing the same, right? What are the opportunities? What are the challenges that other people are overlooking? And how can I brand myself as the solution provider? This is what is going to make you stand out from the crowd. We are in the age where a lot of things are happening online. And if you want to stand out, you need to pay attention to things like this. Yes, you're a social entrepreneur. Yes, you have a social enterprise. But what exactly are other people overlooking that your enterprise can solve, right? Offer actionable competitive intelligence, right? Now, this is very important because you can decide to put out content and then people read your content. After they read your content, they don't know what to do next. Do you understand? A lot of people put out content, or I've seen a lot of content on LinkedIn, and then I don't know how to actionably I don't know how to take action after seeing your content. So your content should be so good that immediately I read that content, I know what to do next. This is how to immerse influence and even impact on people. When people know that I was able to take this action because I saw Kemi's content on LinkedIn. I was able to do this, and it influenced my own business. It influenced my life because I saw Yinka's content on LinkedIn, because I saw Halma's content on LinkedIn, right? This is a very important way to grow your impact and your influence. There are a lot of I'm having currently something like a university tour. I went to Covenant, I went to Bowen. Tomorrow I'm going to Unilag to speak. And whenever I go there, a lot of people come to me and say, "Oh, I saw this content of yours, and I was able to do this. I was able to do that because of your program, because of your webinar, because of your live session." This is influence, this is impact, right? That I'm making. And I'm just doing that because I am putting out intelligent and actionable content. So people should not see your content and then we are lost. We don't know what to do next, right? And then you need to also be timely and brief with your content. Like I said earlier, 90% of people on LinkedIn, they control business decisions in their enterprises or their companies. So these people are busy people. So you should not be putting out something that is too long for us to digest. Utilize newsletters, you can even use video content. The idea or the goal is to keep your content timely and brief enough such that anybody that sees that content can understand it and can take steps afterwards, right? You should also make it accessible for time poor decision makers. You should also distribute effectively, right? Utilize videos, carousels. I remember when we are having a session on the inside, and I was teaching people how to create carousels on LinkedIn, right? If you know that when you want to create a lot of you want to post different pictures on LinkedIn, and sometimes your content gets lost, right? If you want to post 5 pictures and then you post it as a normal picture, you notice that sometimes some pictures get lost. You can utilize LinkedIn carousels, right? And a LinkedIn carousel is as easy as uploading each of your pictures on Canva, and then as different slides on Canva, downloading it as a PDF, and then uploading it as a document, uploading that your PDF document as a document on LinkedIn. That way, when people see your content, they can slide through your content on LinkedIn just as they do on Instagram, right? That way, you can actually communicate better to your audience. Next slide. As we begin to wrap up, don't add more white noise. This means don't merely repeat what every other person is saying. I've already talked about this. Offer unique guidance. This is going to set you apart from other social entrepreneurs across the globe. Moving, next slide, please. Expressions of thought leadership, your content formats, newsletters, video content, carousels, we talked about that. Content types, you should ensure that you have a balance between these various content types: motivational content, informative content, educative content, entertaining, and action oriented. In fact, yesterday I put up on particular content on LinkedIn, and I was telling people that people are not likely to listen to you sell your initiative or sell your project. In fact, sometimes it irritates people when you're consistently selling, right? But how you can get us to listen to you is when you offer educative or entertaining content, right? We want to hear stories, we want to be educated, we want to learn. So if you can position yourself as that entrepreneur, as that change maker, that consistently puts out content that educates her audience, that entertains her audience, or motivates us, or inspires us, we are more likely to anticipate your content, right? And you can also use it as an avenue to sell your initiative, etc. You just need to be very intentional about it. So you need to write down these 5 content types that you can utilize on LinkedIn. You also don't want to be that person that is always giving motivation, right? Sometimes it can get tiring. You also don't want to be the person that's always joking or entertaining. There should be a balance. And you also don't want to be the person that's always so serious. People need to connect with your human nature. And that's why this is the framework I give my students. Ensure that there's a balance between motivation, education, entertainment, and also action oriented. Now, action oriented content formats are the content formats whereby you tell people sign up for this, attend this. For example, the content for this webinar was an action oriented content because Ideation Hub was telling people to sign up, right? So if you have action oriented content, ensure that you don't put the link to sign up in your caption. If you do that, the LinkedIn algorithm is going to restrict your content. Why? Because they want you to pay for LinkedIn ad. LinkedIn is a business. They also want to make money. So when they notice that you are marketing, they would restrict the reach of your content so that you see the need to run ads, right? So if you're doing this, ensure that you put the link to whatever it is, maybe your ebook, your course, your webinar, whatever, put it in the caption, and you can also put the flyer there. Your face will sell more, so it is more advisable to post your beautiful professional pictures and then create content about whatever it is you want them to sign up for. In your comment, you can now put your flyer and the link to that particular thing you want them to sign up for. Now, you have to watch out for these. adjust for the algorithm. We've talked about this. Make it easy to reach you. For some people, if you're not online, people can't buy from you, people cannot book a session with you, right? Ensure that you utilize the link in your profile. LinkedIn now gives you an opportunity to put a link in your profile, right? As a social entrepreneur, if people want to buy your courses, can they do it when you're offline, right? So utilize platforms like Seller to host your courses, your initiatives, your projects, whatever it is, such that people across the globe can still buy from you even when you're offline, when you're even having a break or a retreat, whatever, right? Make it easy to trust you. Your profile is another avenue for people to trust you. How is your profile looking currently? We talked about it. Credibility and capability can be achieved when you utilize certain sections of your profile to brand yourself, right? Make it easy for them to understand you. Platforms like tools like Lingo Jam will help you. Now, Lingo Jam is a platform that allows you to generate bold text or italicized text. Now, you notice that a lot of people, when they're creating content on LinkedIn, they create long form content, and then certain things can be lost in the content, right? I wish I could share my screen. I would have showed you, but it's not hard. Just go to lingojam.com and click fancy text generator. When you do that, you're able to create the bold form of your content. Let's say you want people to sign up for your webinar, and then you use storytelling to tell them a story, and then the call to action is sign up for this webinar, and you don't want it lost with other words that you were using there. All you have to do is copy your call to action, paste it on Lingo Jam, and then generate the bold format. You see the bold format, you see the italicized form, right? Copy it there and paste it back on your LinkedIn caption, right? That part, that call to action is going to be bold, and anybody that sees your content would be immediately drawn to your call to action, right? This is for people that have call to actions and you don't want it lost with um other things that you wrote about, right? This is something that you need to look at. Then mix of content types, we talked about that. The fourth is growth. Now, you need to understand that if you want to reach more people, you need to have more people in your network, right? And for you to grow on LinkedIn, LinkedIn is one of the easiest platforms for you to grow. And I'll just be teaching you briefly how exactly you can grow on LinkedIn. The first way to grow your audience on LinkedIn is the connection strategy. LinkedIn gives you 100 slots per week to connect to people. A lot of people don't know this, and that's why they struggle with growing their connections, their followers on LinkedIn. Now, when you send out this invite to these 100 people that of your choice, if your creator mode is turned on, when they accept your connection invite, they automatically become your followers, right? So you can literally predict your follower growth on LinkedIn. It's just that some people don't just know all these things. You can say, okay, my profile is looking good, and I can predict that if I send out 100 connection slots, about 80 of them will accept, right? If they are active on LinkedIn. So you can say on the average, I immerse 80 more people on my to my audience every week on LinkedIn, right? Don't forget, the more people you can reach, the more people you can sell to, the more people you can influence, the more people you can impact, right? So growing on LinkedIn should be one of your major goals, and this is one way you can do that. Another strategy to grow is by engaging. I do this a lot. Whenever people like Bill Gates, Tony Elumelu, people that have millions of followers, whenever they create content, I engage. Why? I put out good comments there because I know that some people that might never know me in my lifetime are currently connected to Bill Gates, right? And when they see my thought-provoking content or my insightful comment in that particular post, they might want to check out my profile, right? And that's one way to break into circles of people that you are normally not connected to, people that might never know you in your lifetime, but they are currently connected to other big figures like Mark Zuckerberg, etc. So whenever they create content on LinkedIn, leave a comment, leave an insightful comment that would make people want to know more about you. And then consistent content creation cannot be overemphasized. Whenever I have my LinkedIn monthly LinkedIn growth programs, people have like 1,500 added followers in just 19 days. Why? Because they utilize this strategies that I have put out here. Next slide. Next slide, next slide, next slide, next slide. Finally, the Social Entrepreneurs Initiative. So everything I've been talking about here is has been centered on your profile. Remember, I said your initiative cannot grow beyond you as the owner. Now, let's talk about your initiative. For you to list your initiative on LinkedIn, you need to set up a company page to feature your initiative or your profile or your project, right? And it's as easy as going to your when you open the LinkedIn web version, at the top of the top tabs there, you're going to see work, right? You're going to see the work tab. When you click the work tab, right? If you're writing down, you can write it down. I would have shown you practically, but I can't share my screen. When you click the work tab, you're going to see set up company page. So if your initiative doesn't have a company page right now, this is your call to set up your company page on LinkedIn, right? Because this gives you credibility. When people can see that, oh, your initiative has a company page where everything you guys do is listed there, it just gives you more credibility, right? Other people that are volunteering in your organization can now list your company as their work experience, right? They can say volunteer at Ideation Hub, volunteer at Envisage Hub, right? If your initiative is not listed on LinkedIn, they can't do this. And this is going to restrict your company's reach. Don't forget, these your employees, they are going to create content. They are going to want to put out their own self on LinkedIn. And whenever they do that, when people click on your employee's profile, they see your profile. And I'll just give an example. There was one organization that reached out to me. I think I volunteered for them when I was in the university. And as at then, I did not have a lot of connections on LinkedIn. I didn't have a large audience. And then what I noticed was that this year, their co-founder actually reached out to me and told me, "Oh, you volunteered in our organization. Please put it on your LinkedIn profile." Why was he saying this? Because he understands that more people are going to be looking at my profile. And when they look at my profile, they will see his company, her company rather, listed there. And that's visibility for the company. So if you know that you have a lot of volunteers, you have a team, it's good that you list your company on LinkedIn so that your company can also increase their reach. More people can view your company, more people can know what you do. Also, tag your company page when necessary. Personal profiles convert more. I talked about this. Personal profiles convert more. So tag your company page when you create content. When you create content, you see that you can have like 100 likes, 50 likes, or I don't like talking about likes, but likes are like vanity metrics. Look at the post impressions. Your post impressions are the people that have seen your content. So you can see that you have like 500 post impressions, 1,000 post impressions. But when your company creates content, it's not close to that. So as much as possible, first list your company on your profile so that people can see it when they look at your profile. And second, tag your company page when necessary so that you can also put the spotlight on your company page, because your company page is not going to convert as much as your own personal profile. Next slide. I think this is going to be the last slide now. Final notes. Next slide. Next slide, please. Now, finally, you need to understand that there's a starving crowd on LinkedIn in dire need of your presence there. I talked about this when we started this session, and I love to end with it, right? Because a lot of people, a lot of good people, you're so good at what you do. In fact, you're the best kept secret in your industry. You're not just you're not just branding yourself and showing up on platforms like this that can literally change your life. And I'm not capping when I mean change your life, because God has used LinkedIn to change my life. I'm serious. I was not like this like 2 years ago, but the amount of client or the caliber of clients that I've gotten on LinkedIn, right, has literally changed my life and my career, right? Imagine I was hiding. Imagine I wasn't showing up there. Imagine I was just keeping quiet, right? Probably I might not be invited to these various universities that I'm being invited to speak at, right? Circles and communities that I have been on, or I am currently in, I might not be there. People have been able to influence, I've been able to impact, I might not have done this. Imagine the people that I God used me to give free professional headshots last week. Imagine I was not doing stuff on LinkedIn, right? They would have not been able to benefit from that initiative. A lot of you right here, you have initiatives, you have projects that are very impactful, right? But people don't know about it. And then you're just working behind the scenes. Nobody is seeing you when you can actually list your project and your own thought leadership brand on a platform like LinkedIn and break into different countries, different African countries, different European countries. My monthly LinkedIn growth program has touched 7 countries across the globe, not just in Africa, across the globe. Why? Because we're utilizing LinkedIn to target people and because God is also preaching our message too. And even as you create content on LinkedIn and you brand yourself, don't also leave out the God factor. I don't hide my spiritual side. Don't leave out the God factor. I also tell my students when you want to create content, pray that the right people will see you. Because just one person seeing you can actually blow up your initiative, can give you an opportunity or put you in a stage whereby the world would see you, right? So be intentional about that. Be intentional about praying for the right people to see your content, the right organizations, the right associations to see you, right? And finally, the last thing I want you to know is that results are not automatic. No solid house was built in a day. I have a particular real estate founder in my network, and she talks about how the work that goes in to build skyscrapers is not the same work that goes in to build a bungalow or a hut or any other kind of house, right? So you need to play the long-term game. A lot of business owners, especially in Africa, that their initiatives or their companies don't last past 5 or 10 years, they were not playing the long-term game from the start. And so you just launch your initiative today, and what you are looking for is, or you just want to make money and you just want to tour the world. You don't want to play the long-term game. The long-term game will make you sit down, connect with the right people, even when you're not getting the engagement that you want. You keep putting out content. Don't forget when I told you about the consul general that was seeing our content on LinkedIn consistently. He wasn't engaging, but he was seeing, right? So there are a lot of people, a lot of stakeholders that will see you when you start showing up on LinkedIn. And I don't want you to get discouraged when you don't see the engagement that you feel like seeing, because it's just a feeling. You want to see 100 likes, you want to see 500 likes. It's just a feeling because of your emotions, right? You need to think logically. I am building a brand, and consistency is what will pay off in the long term. LinkedIn started their company in, I think, 2002. Imagine, in 2002, most of us didn't know LinkedIn. In fact, in 2010, I didn't know LinkedIn. In 2012, 15, I didn't know LinkedIn, but this company was building, right? But now they have 800 million plus users. Imagine if they stopped in 2002 when nobody knew them, or 2010, 2015. They won't be here today, right? So I just feel very led to speak to a lot of entrepreneurs that are building in secret, right, and have not gotten there yet. That might just be your building season, right, or your hiding season. And when the time is right, please ensure that you're shining your light so brightly such that nations will come to your light, and also kings will come to the brightness of your rising. I hope I've been able to do justice to this particular session. Latoya, you can come up now so that we can take the question and answer session.
Wow. Thank you so much, Lady Homer. What a very insightful session that it was.
Thank you.
Brilliant insight, very practical. I just love how you ran us through the importance of generating unique and creative content targeted at a specific audience, then transiting into thought leadership and the importance of a thought leadership brand, and then moving on further to showing us the strategies that we can implement to actualize this. I just love your final notes, really just reiterating the powerful insight that maybe many of us have missed out, even connecting on LinkedIn, that there is a starving crowd out there on LinkedIn. A lot of people just see LinkedIn as, okay, it's a platform, a social media platform where I just push forth a professional outlook. but they don't see that engagement side of LinkedIn. And I love how you have shed so much light and insights into that. Very powerful session. And I'm sure there's just been so many feedback. There's so many feedbacks, popping up in the comment section. So riding on quickly into the Q&A, I would want you to share your story. Whilst you were taking us through the presentation, you hinted that 2 years ago, you literally were not known as the LinkedIn queen. You literally were not a LinkedIn certified marketer.
Yeah.
How did this LinkedIn queen emerge within the short time span of 2 years? I know there's the grace factor, there's the
Yeah.
God factor. I'm not downplaying that. I'm a strong believer of that. But in addition to that, you put in the work, on that platform. So walk us through that journey.
Okay, thank you, Lady Twin. You've already answered the first part. You've already answered the God factor, grace factor part, and I I'm very led to also speak to a lot of believers here that just focus on the grace factor. There's this saying that says, "Walk like you don't have God," right? And pray to God like you don't have work, right? So about 2 years ago, I started out on LinkedIn, and what I was doing, LinkedIn was basically like my dump site. So I
Mm,
was just putting out content there. And that's why every time I train people, I tell them, forget the likes and the engagement, because that's what I
mm,
did. I was more intentional about Instagram and even Facebook than LinkedIn. Whenever I want to put out content on Instagram, I would look at my picture, the caption. I was so intentional. But LinkedIn, whenever I attend any webinar like this, if I was on this webinar, I'll just tag myself. If I was not the speaker, I'll tag you, tag myself, and say, "Oh, I was just here." And unknowingly, I was building a brand, right?
wow.
People were not engaging, but they will see me today. Tomorrow they will see me. The third day they will see me. They'll be like, okay, who is this girl? Right? It was consistency that
Mm,
just blew up over time. Right. So what most people don't understand is that in your consistent times, you're building a relationship with somebody that you
yes.
don't know. Now I go to schools, I go for events, and a lot of people reach out to me. Oh, I see your content. Is the content that they see. And now it's like we are friends because we are conversing almost every day on LinkedIn with my content. Right. So consistency is what was very important. And then learning. I had to take
Mm,
a LinkedIn certified marketing um exam, right?
exam.
I was consistently learning. Like I
Mm,
said, if you really want to be a thought leader that would bring out unique perspective in a particular field, you have to learn more than other people. You have to
very
be in
true.
circles that other people are not there. So there are a lot of people that are teaching LinkedIn today, but they're not in circles that I'm in. So they can't know some things that I know. In fact, in
Mm,
February, I was meant to be in LinkedIn's office in Singapore. I was invited there, right? So
mm,
all these things are privileges that you get when you're always putting your best foot forward with regards to
mm.
learning. So yeah, and then the God factor.
Powerful. Powerful. I just love again how you were saying in simple terms, it was just your consistency in showing
Mhm.
up
Yeah,
and really more about connecting. It was not really about you okay, let me put it rightly. You used the connection strategy. The strategy
yeah,
was not really driving engagement really, but you just wanted to connect and you
yeah,
also wanted to show up the consistent strategy. Show
exactly.
up every now and then, just sharing that content and enriching lives. So your
Mhm.
target was really the audience, having an avenue to interact socially on that platform. And that is just so insightful. Just before we take any questions from the audience, I can see some questions popping up in the comment
Yeah.
section. I will just take one more question and then we'll move on quickly to the questions from the audience. So please, if you have questions, please pop it up in the comment section. Our amiable guest will definitely do justice to it. So the next question will be, now you have shown us how very powerful LinkedIn is as a global branding platform, especially when if you intend to connect with the right persons and grow your global brand. The question then will be, um, for those starting out, they definitely would say they don't want to make certain mistakes and they
Mhm.
want to, achieve the right results, just achieve cutting edge results. But the reality though is, as you do, you learn through your mistakes, and
True.
you also learn through your mistakes, right? But let's share with us what are the specific mistakes or errors they are expected to either avert or discard in the process of engaging or connecting via LinkedIn. Just as you were sharing during your presentation, you noted that some people experience restrictions within their accounts. It
Yeah.
was not that they did anything necessarily, but you while you were presenting, you highlighted something that you're not expected to embed the link. Maybe
Yeah.
like a sales link in the caption, you embed it in the comment section so that LinkedIn does not flag your post and all that. Are there more tips, content engagement and content marketing tips that you could share with us to avert such mistakes or that will result into poor, minimal engagement on this platform?
Okay. Before you give the examples, I wanted to give general mistakes, but now
Yes.
let me give more specific ones.
No, no, please take it from general to
Okay.
specific. Yes, it's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'll start from the restriction thing because it's been a lot. It has happened a lot recently. And it's because LinkedIn is actually trying to protect their brand. So you might not be scamming anybody, but you can get your account restricted. In fact, mine was restricted in December. I couldn't access my LinkedIn for about 2 weeks. And this is the reason. And I want to advise everybody here not to do this, right? When you're sending out connection request on LinkedIn, please don't do it so fast that the algorithm would think that you're using an automation tool. Because if you do
Mm,
that, it's just an automatic restriction and you have to wait. In fact, if you're in my country, if you're in Nigeria, it might take you longer time because most of the Nigerians that have tried to upload their IDs, your NIN will not work. You have
mm,
to upload your international passport, and some people don't even have an international passport. So what are you going to do if you're in that situation? So the
yes.
best thing is for you to avoid it. So when you want to send out connection requests to people, ensure that you're doing it like a human being. I know you don't have time, but just connect, don't do connect so fast that the algorithm will just, what's this, it looks like an automation tool, right? So that's for one. And I advise that you pay keen attention because everything that you have worked for years,
Yes.
you might never access your LinkedIn account again. And it is very sad. I've seen some people that till now we're still working on getting it. It's very sad,
Wow.
right? Another thing that you need to pay attention to is the marketing angle that Lithuanian has already talked about. Ensure
Yes.
that you're not marketing wildly, in the sense that you're not just telling people, you're not just selling every day, you're showing up to sell. In fact, this is even beyond the algorithm. Human beings might not want to engage on your content, right? Utilize storytelling, educate us. This is something
Yes.
influencers use a lot. Influencers on like Instagram and other platforms, you see that they are entertaining you. In fact, comedy skit makers, they do this, they understand this strategy. So they entertain you so much that even when they start influencing for a brand, you're ready to even patronize the brand they're influencing for,
Yes.
because they've given you so much in value that when it's time for you to even give back by buying, you don't even see it as a big deal. My friend used to say every human being has a value bank account. And every time you sow into our value bank account by educating us or entertaining us or motivating us, you're it's like we owe you something. So how can you
Mm,
make people owe you something? Right? It's
I
just
love
by
it.
educating us, entertain us, let us look out for your content. I remember in December when my account was restricted for about 2 weeks, my DMs on WhatsApp and Instagram were full. Everybody was like, where are you on LinkedIn?
Wow.
I'm not seeing your content anymore. Imagine if I was always showing up to just sell, talk about my initiative, etc. I was not impacting other people. It won't be the same. Another mistake
Very
most
true.
people make is that you don't have an offer on LinkedIn. There's nothing
Mm,
you're leading us to. So you're just showing up, you're educating us, you're motivating us, but we don't really know how to engage with you. Do you have any other course that I can actually gain more insights? I don't know. Right? Do you have an ebook? Do you have any other thing? Do you have a website that utilize that showcases more of your work? If these things are not listed there, you might just be wasting your time. You might be popular,
true.
but you might be broke. You might be popular,
Mm,
or you might not get certain opportunities that you need to get. You might be popular
yes.
just because of your content, but the things that matter, you might not be able to get it. So I think these are just things that they need to.
Powerful, powerful, powerful. I just love that value bank statement, really.
Yeah,
You're saying you are actually sowing into your
true.
value bank. And
Mm-hmm.
as people are enjoying value or exchanging value or extracting value from that value back, they owe you. Very
True.
powerful insights. Thank you so much, Lady Ahoma. All right, so I'll take this question from Lead for Good Africa. It says, what role does timing for timing of our post have to do with engagement?
Mhm. Okay, so that's a very relative question because you need to understand your audience. For me, I practically determined mine. So I have posted, I post in the mornings, then I post in the night, and then I see how it kind of plays out. But because I might have gotten a certain level of influence, sometimes even when I post in the morning and when I post in the night, the content does well. Glory to God. Then in your situation, I always advise people that are starting out on LinkedIn, if you can post in the mornings, good. Why? Because I don't advise you posting in the afternoon because people are in their businesses, right? So if you can post in the mornings when maybe they're just settling in, when they open LinkedIn by 12 noon, maybe break time, or in the afternoon, they can see your morning post. And then if you can, in the night, very good strategy because that time people have time. People are just scrolling. That's time when people scroll, people are in traffic, they're just scrolling. They can see your content. For people that use their phones before they sleep, right, that's when they just scroll, they can see your content. So you can either choose mornings or evenings, but afternoons I don't really advise for afternoons, especially you're an influencer that whenever you post you have people ready to engage.
Powerful. Thank you for that very brilliant response. All right. So I move on to my next question. And of course, I know we have a lot of social entrepreneurs and change makers, impact driven professionals, development practitioners connecting, you know, via this webinar at this moment, and who may also connect much later. So I would want you to share with us how you have announced opportunities, partnerships, and funding opportunities via LinkedIn. How have you attracted these opportunities and yeah, through LinkedIn, basically. So yeah.
Okay, for me, I think I'll be right to say that LinkedIn is one of the platforms where these organizations are actually looking at, right? Because beyond even sponsorships and partnerships, right, there are certain awards and there are in fact certain opportunities that when I was applying, what they requested was my LinkedIn profile, right? Even when I applied for Microsoft for Startups hub last year, the only thing they asked me for was my LinkedIn profile, right? So this is just letting you know that organizations are looking at LinkedIn and it's going to increase as the months and as the years go by because LinkedIn is now gaining a lot of attraction. You don't want to know the amount of personal brands, and I mean big names that have reached out to me recently to bring their brand to LinkedIn. There are big names on Instagram, big names on Facebook. Now they are seeing the need for LinkedIn and they are seeking my help to actually position them on LinkedIn. So for every social entrepreneur here, you need to understand that yes, first of all, these organizations are looking at LinkedIn, and you having a good or a well represented brand on LinkedIn will help you, will put you ahead of other candidates, right? And then follow these organizations, right? Following them will keep you abreast of the informations when they are hiring, when they are putting out opportunities. They also know that LinkedIn is a professional platform. So whenever there are grants opportunities, whenever there are funding opportunities, most of them put it out on LinkedIn, right? Some of them can even list it as a job opportunity. Funny enough, right? So if you want to look for jobs on LinkedIn, all you have to do is go to the search bar. In fact, you can go to the search bar and search grants, right? When you search for grants, then you can look for the how would I put it? The place where you are looking for the grants in. Let's say you're looking for grants in Dubai, you're looking for grants in USA, grants in Europe, right? There's an option for you to click location and then look for grants in USA, right? So every USA company that has listed a grant on LinkedIn, you get to see it. And if your LinkedIn profile is good, you can apply with your LinkedIn profile.
Brilliant, 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 brilliant. All right. Thank you for that very insightful response. So, just riding on the fact that you're a LinkedIn certified marketer,
Yeah.
Other products, LinkedIn products and services you would likely want to introduce to us that social entrepreneurs and chain makers can take advantage of.
Okay, the first is LinkedIn's Marketing Labs. So LinkedIn's Marketing Labs is actually free for everybody, and they will actually take you through an in-depth training of marketing on LinkedIn, right? So if you want to go further from what I've said today, you can actually go to linkedinmarketinglabs.com and you learn. In fact, you get tired of learning. You can also learn how to run ads. Let's say you have the budget for running ads on LinkedIn. You can learn how to do it yourself, even without paying anybody. And then another product is LinkedIn Premium. If you want to, if you see the need to, right? Because you mustn't have LinkedIn Premium. Before I got LinkedIn Premium last month or last 2 months, I think I only used it for 2 months for entire 2 years of growing on LinkedIn. So it's not really a must do or a must have. If you don't have the budget for it, you can just continue going on LinkedIn. But LinkedIn Premium will actually help you, especially if you're actively applying for opportunities. That way, you can see how you compare to other clients, other applicants, right? You can see the skill that the recruiter or the person that put out that opportunity is looking for. Let's say there's a fellowship you want to apply for, and then you want to see what exactly are the skills this the person that put it out is looking for. People that don't have LinkedIn Premium will not see it, but you that have LinkedIn Premium, you see the skills the person is looking for or the opportunity needs. You also see how you compare to other clients, other applicants based on your current LinkedIn profile. And then you can wisely tweak some things, right, that you have, but you might not have just listed it there, right, so that you can be a better candidate. And if you're somebody that recruits for your startup or for your enterprise, you can subscribe for Recruiter Lite, right? Recruiter Lite will help you get good talents, right, easily on LinkedIn. A lot of people, when you're building your team, you're looking, oh, how can I get the right people? If you use Recruiter Lite, you can easily find and attract good talents on LinkedIn.
Powerful. Thank you so much, Lady Homa. Today's session has been eye opening, has been so in depth and very profound. Thank you so much for the time spent. I just want to confirm that we don't have any questions. I'm not seeing any more questions in the comment section. So that implies that Lady Homa has done justice to this. And of course, she's recommended further resources that we can explore to get better to get better and also improve our opportunities within the LinkedIn platform. All
I
right,
think
so
we can
Lady
also
Alma, I
for
just
others. Sorry, Lithuania. For those
okay,
that are just starting out, right, and you need a ready community, because one thing I notice with people is that you optimize your profile, but then what's the use of a beautiful profile when nobody's seeing it, right? And that's why I started up a community driven
yes,
growth program, right, such that when you
beautiful.
create content, we have a ready community to support you. And it has, since we started in August, we've 2013 people have gone through that program. We're starting another one May 7th. So if you see that there's a need for it, right, you can just join us. We go through profile optimization, content creation, marketing, etc. This is just one thing I'm using to impact the lives of a lot of people. And then
Wow.
I look forward to seeing you part of us. You can just click the link in my LinkedIn profile and then you can join us if you see the need.
Yes, beautiful. Of course, we definitely would. I was going to get to the point where I would have you share how everyone was joined in or will be tuning in a month later could connect with you, but I will still get there. So I just wanted to share your parting words with us. On a final note, I know you shared a final note during your presentation, but we can't get enough of final notes.
Oh,
So I just wanted to share with us, your final notes, a
yeah.
powerful charge to everyone who was tuned in and who will be tuning in, in their future. Yeah.
Okay, so my final notes are first is that this is an era of global digital profiles. I said it before, but I want to speak on it again because a lot of you you're good. You're literally good. For you to be watching Ideation Hub's webinar, you're good and you're interested
Yes.
in upskilling and developing, right? But you need to understand that there are other people that are not as good as you are, but they have better partners, they have better team members, they have better people patronizing their initiative just because they are visible, right? So the most visible person is the person that the audience will run to, not necessarily the most qualified. The
Very
most
true.
qualified can keep quiet and nobody cares, nobody will see you, right? So please, the fact that you're keeping quiet, you're making us patronize substandard people. Please show up, right? Jesus Christ said, let your light so shine.
Shine.
If Jesus wanted you to be basic about it, he would have not said so shine. Jesus
Yes.
literally told you, go out there, let people see the glory of God in you, in your solution, right? And I also want you to understand that you need to serve people, right? Leadership is about serving people. That's something that most business owners don't understand. You just want to make money, you just want to do this, you don't want to gain market share, you don't want to serve people. I think one thing I left out in my own story is my ability and my genuineness to serving people. I serve people a
Hmm.
lot,
I love it.
right? I just talked about the initiative that I gave out 50 free headshots to people.
Headshots.
Now, these people are going to be loyal to me, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
One day they might see the need to join one of my programs. I'm not intentionally selling it to them, but I'm giving back to them. So as a business owner, in fact, you as a social entrepreneur, you should be
Exactly.
giving back more than any other person. You should be
Yes.
gaining, you should be giving back, you should be your impact and your influence should be more than a regular business owner because you
Yes.
have more avenues to give back. Giving back is going to set you apart from the crowd. People
Yes.
are going to patronize the person that gives back, the person that has a better
Yes.
motive just than profit making, right? More. So this is just something I want you to pay attention to and is going to set you apart from the crowd. I'm speaking from experience.
Beautiful. I just love, and let me just ride upon that last point of giving back. That's why Ideation of Africa is hosting this social impact webinar for
True.
free. We are not charging you, and we have
Yeah.
brought. This is an high level. She's an international global speaker that we have brought on our platform, and you're getting this for free. It's
Yeah.
just our way of also giving back to
Giving
members
back.
of our ecosystem, members of our community, because we want to continually see you evolve and strengthen your hands as you scale your impact work. So thank you so much, Alma, for that. And of course, in addition to this, Alma highlighted the visionary retreat during our presentation.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely, I would encourage you to also access our visionary retreat replay. We held this in March. And of
Yeah.
course, this was tailored to social enterprises and NGO leaders. So please, definitely some of the things she highlighted, you would also enjoy from this retreat. It's embedded in there. And just visit our bio on any of our platforms, whether on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, and click the link in that bio to access the Vision and Retreat Replay. One other good thing is that you would also have free access to all of the courses in the Social Innovation School if you sign up into or access or purchase the Vision and Retreat Replay. So I encourage you to leverage this opportunity. We are really generous, and that's just our way
Indeed.
of really just saying we really want to see you grow. We really want to see you be equipped and empowered with the right tools and resources. So, Lady Alma, please share with us also how can our community members connect with you? How can they also be a member of your community? Where you get to train people on a monthly basis. Giving
Yeah.
back in your own way. Thank you.
Okay, beautiful. So you can connect with me everywhere on Instagram, Twitter, Instagram. This is my name, Homa Wogo. And then if you also want to take it further, you can actually be part of the business owners, social entrepreneurs, corporate professionals that I take on a growth journey on a monthly basis. In fact, when I started that program, I didn't know we're going to come this far. In fact, this batch we are starting now is our 10th month anniversary. And in 10 months, we've done about 2013 people, like I said. Very beautiful. I'm very grateful to God. And this is also an avenue that I'm using to help a lot of people because a lot of people, is a lot. They
Yeah.
show up on LinkedIn. There are some of my participants that tell me, oh, I've been on LinkedIn for the past 5 years. I myself I've not been on LinkedIn for 5 years, and they've just been sitting quiet doing nothing, and then they come
Mm,
in and then they're having testimonials, and I'm like, where are all these people that gave you these opportunities? Where were
mm.
they? And the question is not where were they, the question is where were you? You were not showing up, and so they were not seeing you. You're good at what you do, but you've been keeping quiet. So this is an avenue that I use to brand, to teach them how to brand and market themselves so that they can attract the right people. So if you're interested, you can just join us. You can click the link in my LinkedIn profile, or you can just search for bit.ly/ LinkedIn growth 10. So this is our 10th anniversary. So LinkedIn growth
Oh,
10.
wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'll be very happy to see you. If you were in this webinar, you can just hit me up and tell me I was part of the webinar. And it will be a good time with you.
Thank you, Lady Alma. And one thing I also encourage you to do, please, just as we have learned, take excerpts from this webinar, share it across your
Yeah.
platform, tag
Tag
us at
us.
Ideation of Africa, tag myself, tag our Alma. Also follow our company page on LinkedIn as
Yes.
well. Tag us, follow us, comment, be a part of the ecosystem, actively engage, and also leverage the opportunity that Lydia Alma has shared by visiting our LinkedIn profile and just joining the community. Once again, we're excited and super grateful to each of you for making our time to be part of this again learning avenue to just drink from the wealth of wisdom of social innovators, change makers doing powerful work across different spheres and strata. Thank you, Lady Alma, for your time. Thank you yet again for a very insightful session. It was indeed eye opening. And I'm sure there will be many testimonies or
Mhm.
testimonials that will proceed from just the interaction with this webinar. To all of our ecosystem members, we implore you and encourage you to yet again make it a date at the next edition of the Social Impact webinar. It promises to be mind blowing. It's a momentum. It's a momentum. So please make it a date. Also plug into our email newsletters. Be actively connect to through the courses and the communities, and also engage as well. Thank you all to everyone, and I can see many other persons. Thank you, the Purposeful Lady, Yinka, Lead for Good Africa, and many other persons, Deborah, and many Olua Kemi, and many other persons who are not commenting but are tuned in this
Yeah.
afternoon. So to you all, we say bye for now and enjoy a very pleasant afternoon or evening or morning from anywhere you're tuned in from across the world. Till the next edition. Bye.
Bye.